Hello, Stephen Schaub here, leader of the Digital Revolution 2.0 here on YouTube, and today we are starting our big dive into scanning. This is going to be a long series, probably spanning several months. We'll do a couple of videos here and there, and I'm hoping to really sort of answer and demystify a lot of the misinformation that's out there on how to get a really good scan. Additionally, if you have not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe today. It's important to have lots of voices here. And if you can, please support us on Patreon. Your support makes everything we do here on the site possible. Okay, so let's get into this. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to compare two scanners. We're going to compare an Imacon 646, really an industry powerhouse of a scanner. I have one of these in my studio tethered to a legacy Mac system running an ASO monitor. And we're going to compare a scanner which currently is retailing for the $20,000 mark to a Epson V750 scanner that I bought for $850 tied to my current Mac system. So we're really looking at what should be apples and oranges, but let's see if maybe it's just closer to the fact that they're both fruit. All right, let's get into this. So the first scan that I'm going to pull up, those of you that have been here on the Revolution for a while will recognize this image. I used this in my last post. This was XP2 Super at an EI of 50, and it is a black and white chromogenic bleach bypass. So it was a process using HC110 Developer as a stand development and doing it with standard fix, thus leaving the silver and the dye clouds and everything in the film. Once again, I reiterate, I think this looks absolutely amazing. And if you have not watched that video, definitely check it out because there's a lot of great information in there. So if we look at this, it's an absolute wow factor. If I zoom in on it, everything's there. I mean, look at the clarity at 100%. It is just beautiful. The skin texture is amazing, the clarity in the glasses, the highlight to shadow ratio, the three-dimensional quality of the scarf is perfect. Now let's pull up an Imacon 646 scan. And I should point out, by the way, I scanned both of these using my best scanning practices, which I will get into in next videos. But both of them were scanned as an RGB positive, and both of them were scanned using the color to grayscale technique, the RGB to grayscale. You can look at the video I already posted here on Digital Revolution 2.0 to watch that technique, but it was converted to grayscale using that exact same technique. So these are as close to a side-by-side as I could make. The only two differences are that one's on an Imacon and one's on a V750, and the Imacon has a slight file size advantage. It'll scan up to 3200 DPI optical, whereas the Epson V750 and the V850 really max out at 2400. Anything beyond that, and you're not getting more resolution, it actually starts losing a little bit of sharpness. So I always find that 2400 DPI is about the most that I need. Let me bounce back. Let me bounce forward. There is very, very, very little difference. And the reason for this is sort of the way that I have my V750 tweaked, the way that I scan it. I'm going to get into that in a little while, but look at how close they are. Let's do a side-by-side zoom in here to Eve's eyes. Let's get it close to like 100%. And then let me look at the other at 100%, sort of the same scale. I mean, man, they are so close. I am not seeing like a massive sharpness difference in either one. The Epson is holding its own, like 110%. Shadow to highlight, everything looks just great. The one thing that's difficult, as I've mentioned, is that the Imacon is slightly higher resolution. And so what if I took the scan that we're looking at from the Imacon, and what if I took the scan from the Epson, and what if I made them the same file size? So I used a little bit of bicubic interpolation, just using standard Photoshop enlargement for maintaining detail, and I took now the one that was scanned in the V750 and made it the same size. So let's take a look at those now at 100%, side by side. And okay, so I'm looking at the Imacon right now. It's really impressive at 100%. Skin tone is really smooth and really beautiful. The gradation of tonality from the shadow to highlight is really great. Let's take a look at the one from the Epson. Man, I'm telling you, if there's differences, it's really, really subtle. As a matter of fact, in some ways, I think the Epson has a little bit more micro contrast on the face. There's a little more texture to the skin. One place where the Imacon absolutely is amazing is on its dust and scratch removal. It does just a phenomenal job on that. Better than the Epson scanning software and better than the Silverfast. But if I get back just to the visual qualities of these images, let me scroll down to her scarf here and look at that on both of them side by side. I mean, the scarf on the Epson, you know, the funny part is that the Imacon's a little more subtle. It's a little smoother, and I'm not sure it's good. I look at the Epson, it's a little harsher, but my God, the differences are so delicate. You know, the way the Imacon handles some of the tonal transitions is maybe just a whisker smoother, but I don't think this is something that would translate into a print. I'm just looking at them side by side, and they're just absolutely so similar that it says one thing. You don't need to go out and spend $20,000 or $15,000 or $10,000 to get a good scan. What you need is to understand how scanner technology works. And that is our next post. So take a look at these two images, watch this video again. If you've got an Epson V750, an Epson V750 or 850 Pro, sleep good tonight, because you can know that your scanner can go toe-to-toe with an Imacon with the right workflow. And that's the next post. Thank you very much for listening. I can't wait to hear your thoughts. Now go shoot some film, or in this case, go scan some film.